Yo, what's up, everyone? Edgar with All One Solar Shine. Let me do that. Um, yo, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are joining me. And give real quick a minute to where is he at? What did I just do there? How do I add him? Nope, comment. Say hi for those of you that are joining. Oh, there he is. Okay. You guys know the drill. We're going to be joining right now with the one and only Mr. Clean Turf. And we got something in store for you like we've been talking about every single Friday. We are talking about a specific topic, specific subject, and we're going to just, dive into that subject, dive into that topic. And for those of you that are watching as well, make sure you guys are dropping in the comment. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Where you at, boy? Get in this. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. And of course, let me know, not just me, but also for Todd. If you guys have any questions, Todd is not just, in the solar clean field, he's also in the Mr. Clean Turf. So we got solar, obviously the whole solar industry, myself and Todd, cleaning, bird abatement. And then we also got Todd also doing the turf area. Why is Todd unable to join? Let's see if I can join him. Okay, let's see. So as always, man, we got some technical difficulties. This ain't a perfect world, but we got something happening. Oh, we got Solar Cleaners joined. We are live.
Let's go, Papa. Where'd
Man,
you go, man?
where are you at, man?
Man,
You in
I'm up
Cuba?
here in the woods, son. Huh? I'm in
Uh,
that place they call Sacramento.
right, right. You're not too far from it,
Sonny
actually.
boy. Really?
Yeah.
Where you at?
Oh, I'm in
Why
Sacramento
don't
right
I see
now.
you?
But for those of you
You gotta
just
click
tuned,
something so I can see you.
you can't see me.
No, why not?
I could see you perfectly fine.
All right, well I can't see you, man.
Let's see. What
What
about now?
happened? Hold on. Nope.
You're a little glitchy, so it could
Where'd
be
you
just
go?
maybe your Wi-Fi. You're just a little glitchy, little
It could
pixelated.
be. All right, well go on with your bad self. We'll
All
figure it
right.
out.
Yep, we'll figure it out for sure. But for all of you guys that are just tuning in, or those of you who've been watching since the start of the live stream, really appreciate all of you. Like I said at the beginning, Todd and I, we made it a commitment to go live every Friday and talk specific topics, talk specific subjects. And if we don't touch a specific topic that you, the viewers, want us to talk about, drop it in the comments, okay? We are going to talk about what you want to hear about. We're going to share what we know, our knowledge, our experience, our opinions, of course, about what you guys want to hear, what you're interested in. So make sure you drop that in the comments. Let us know. And if you don't want to drop anything in the comments, just at least say what's up. Say hi. Let us know you're watching. Let us know you're tuning in. Let us know you're enjoying these. What is this, Todd, number 3 or number 4?
Number 4, I think.
This is
Yeah.
number 4. So if you guys haven't
Yeah.
seen the other 3, um, the past, well, the last one is on my Instagram, on Todd as well. But the first 2, or all 3 of them, they're always going to be on my YouTube channel. Okay, so for those of you who aren't watching now, you can watch the replay. It'll always be on YouTube. It's All One Solar Shine on YouTube, so check it out. But quickly, Todd, what are you celebrating? I know you're celebrating something nice. Tell the viewers what you're celebrating right
Woo!
now.
Man, celebrating 24 hours of sobriety. Just kidding. 23 years being married to my beautiful wife. So she's the traveler, man. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably just work and bellyache all the time. So she's always looking to do things, to go camping, keep the family on the move. But I think tomorrow, yep, Saturday is 23 years. Devin is 23 years, so do the math. People say, dude, why'd you decide to get married? Well, that little stick that had a positive on it, whoo, you got to do what you got to do, or you get a lawsuit because she used to be one of my employees back in the day.
Oh, look at that. That's just what we're going to
Yeah,
touch upon, right? But quickly, to quickly, not to go off track immediately, but so I went camping for the first time with my family probably about a month ago now, or 3 weeks ago. We're waiting a little bit. My youngest is turning 2 this year, so we were kind of waiting when we can all go as a family. And we were there having a blast. The best camping trip probably forever. Like,
yeah,
just it was amazing. But as
yeah.
one night, as we were just making dinner, some couple walks by, and they're literally probably like in their 60s or late 60s. They're pretty old, pretty up there, retired, enjoying life, and they just stopped by. They said hi to us, said lovely family, this and that. And I said thank you, and I shared, our first time, so we're enjoying it as well. She's like, and the husband looked at me and said, you know what, you're doing good. A family that camps together is a family that stays together. And I mean, hey, you're doing it, they
Yeah,
did
man.
it, and so
Yeah.
I definitely hope that us as well, my personal family, we continue to do it. And for any of you watching, if you guys want to stay together with your spouse, with your loved one, and with your family, go out camping. But
Yeah, man.
so Todd, you just quickly you touched the surface, you scratched it, right? You said the infamous word we're gonna be talking about today, employees. Um, Maribel wasn't your employee, right?
No, she was no direct report. Um, but yeah, they did call me in the office and said, the word is you're dating somebody on the floor. And I said, as long as it's not a direct report, y'all stay out of my business. But yeah, I've yet to date anybody in the solar service industry that
That's
reports
good.
to me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But so let's talk employees. So obviously, first let me first bring up just what is an employee? I mean, would you consider an employee a W-2, or would you consider an employee a 1099 subcontractor, or do you think they're literally two separate entities, two separate individuals?
It's tough, right? Because our industry is such that if I think I said it last week, like my wife's cousin told me one time because I thought I was being all cool at a home and garden show, and he says, "You don't have a business, bro. You got a service." And so the difference between a service and a business is just that. So if I'm up here in the Sequoias for 4 days, does my business stop? In our industry, so many people I think are hesitant to hire somebody for whatever reason. I think the biggest thing it comes down to is the money. It's a tough gig, especially when you're buying these powered brushes and these pressure washer units, and you drop 10 grand right out of the gate. But for me, I think an employee is anybody that's doing work for you, however you choose, so that way you could go do other work or find more work to keep that person working. That's a whole other conversation. How do you pay taxes and all of that? So I think an employee is
Hey,
anybody that,
we're not gonna get into
um,
taxes.
yeah, that's between me and Jesus. I think I'm pretty good, except the taxes. He's gonna have the accountant there when I go upstairs,
That's
and
where
I'm a
mercy
little
plays into
scared.
play,
But
right?
oh my Lord, I'm hoping so.
Okay, so
But
quickly
I
then,
just believe that you're paying, right?
yeah, so quickly then, so you just said right now, and that's a very good, very very good way to look at this. Are you a business or are you a service, like you said, right? And
Yeah.
so then and then you talked about real quick about just fear, right? I think, and I will touch base about that too, about fear being, I can totally agree with you, fear being the number one cause of stepping out of your comfort zone and getting those employees. So I would just agree with, so
Yeah.
quickly to go on the first point. At what point you, Todd, Solar Clean, did you decide, you know what, I'm going to get employees or I'm going to get subcontractors so that way I can not be a service but be a business? Or at what point should
It was
others look
probably,
into that?
yeah, right away, right? So I was mentoring. They do Lumens. They changed their name from Bright Homes to Lumens Cleaning because they're like you. They do a whole gamut of things. And I told them yesterday, even though you're just starting off in the turf, you go in it like you're the champ. You're the area expert. Nobody else in your area is doing it. Don't cower down, right? You are that champ. You're the area expert. If you go in and you're testing and hey, we're thinking about it, well, there, right? So immediately, a lot of us didn't go to business schools and write business plans and all of that crap. It took me to year 3. I was rebounding from a really good corporate job that I screwed up. Ended up getting into the solar world, selling solar, and then trying to dig myself out of the ditch that I had created, which is another Oprah story. But on year 3, I just got fed up with working all day and grinding and then having to like leave my job and go do a quote and then come back or go do a cleaning because the schedule started getting bananas. But really, the sooner you could get somebody, and a lot of people are like, well, if I show this dude what's up, they're going to roll out and do their own thing. They might,
But
right?
I don't
How
believe
many?
that.
Yeah, they might. They might. But you know what? All of the people that have worked for me have been awesome and have been great, and nobody's sidestepped me or came in for. You'll know it very quickly in the interview, and we could talk about how to better screen your people. But I think the sooner you treat it as a business versus a service, like my van says, my first van that I'm still rolling around, solar panel cleaning service, because I was a service. I was just trying to make some money. And then as I started putting it together and got an employee, then another employee, but the sooner you could, like I always, Edgar's goal is to get off the roof, right? Not be on the roof. And for the tenure that he has in the game, it's pretty good how he's established. So I would say, kind of to your point, Edgar, I would find somebody, and people are afraid. I've got a couple calls lately, and they're like, dude, I was afraid to call you. One was on turf, the other 2 were on solar. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I got that mean persona, but I'd rather somebody call and probe me about that topic, like, yo, bro, how should I go about that? So
Right.
the sooner you get to get somebody, to train somebody that's flexible for you and you treat them right, the more money, and it's not about money, the more freer your schedule becomes to do the things you need to do in business, to be a business versus a service, right?
Right,
If
right.
that makes sense.
No, yeah, totally, dude, totally. So for those of you who are watching, appreciate all of you watching. We got actually a couple people watching right now. So drop a comment, let us know you guys are enjoying this. As always, we're touching base on different topics every single Friday. So if there's a specific topic you want us to talk about and just hear our thoughts, our experience, our opinions on that topic, drop it in the comments. We'll be reading through the comments and we'll be getting those out there. But yeah, I know I agree with you, Todd. And just like you said, just like you said, and to brush up on it, yeah, it was my goal. It was my personal goal to get off the roof, right? To not do the work anymore. Not because I don't want to. I love the work. There's days when like, man, like I wish I was beyond busy to where I needed to get on the roof and do the work, right? But
Right.
just because I really enjoy the work. I really enjoy talking to the people. I really enjoy getting up there. And I love those transformations of seeing from dirty to clean, from filthy to protected, and just the
Yep.
windows too. The windows were amazing. Like when I had to let a couple people go because I wasn't doing the work anymore, it really sucked. And I saw it, and it was humbling to see also in their face, like, man, like you can't service us anymore because I was like, you know what, I'm sorry, I can't. But and
Yeah.
it was humbling to see that because either A, we grew a great relationship, B, they enjoyed my service, my work, and and see, like, just sometimes you may not find someone else like you. But the reason why I made that switch is because I said, and I knew, and I always had this, just like you said, I always had this fear in me of like, well, if I get off the van, will I keep that van busy? How will I keep that van busy? Will I make sure I have enough work to keep the wheels turning? And so I'd always do like a week off, and then I'd have to go back a week on, then a week off, and then it was just always just hard and just juggling with it. This year, 2025, I said, I dove headfirst and I said, I'm done. I'm done with this van. I'm done with the work. I have a full-time employee in that van. So I got both vans running full-time. I'm in a third vehicle. My third vehicle is somewhat equipped, like I said, in case I need that plan B. So if both vans, for whatever, something happens and they can't make an appointment or they can't make it to their last appointment because they got stuck bird proofing, which has happened a couple times, I'd quickly take my third vehicle, get out there, and knock out the last appointment for the day of solar cleaning, and we're all good to go. So my third vehicle is equipped for just very, very minor things, but I have made it a mission of mine to have those full-time vehicles with employees so that I can now devote my energy, my time, and this same passion to building the business, right? And I think that's where the employees really, really help. So for all of you that are watching, because I know we have a lot of people watching who are those solarpreneurs, is what they kind of want to title them as now. It's entrepreneurs who are just it's either them by themselves doing all the work, taking all the phone calls, all the scheduling, doing everything, banging doors. And sometimes it's those literally by themselves, or they're by themselves with like a helper here and there on the weekends if needed. And, talking to those people, depending on everyone's situation is obviously different, right? I know a couple of solopreneurs that come to my mind, and the reason why they're in this situation is because they still have a full-time job, right? They're still treating this as a hobby.
Right.
And so that alone right there already tells you if treating this as a hobby, of course, if you can't devote 120% to this, so of course you're going to have that fear, that doubt of having an employee. But let's quickly touch base on that. I mean, you said you were first in the solar industry selling solar. At what point did you say, what, this is not a hobby anymore, I'm going balls to the walls, solar cleaning 100%, and then from there, let's make that switch over to, okay, now I got the business established from a hobby to a business to now I need employees.
So before I hit on that, there's so many little nuggets that Edgar dropped along the way that you guys won't even pick up unless the old folks like us tell you. Customers pick up? I'm going to answer. That's a good question, right? And so customers will pick up if you're a chuck in a truck and you're just starting off. There's a little something with the underdog. Hey, man, I'm just getting into it. I'm handling business. I was talking to somebody. Is that him right there? No, that's not him. I was talking to somebody out of Mo Valley, and he said, hey, man. Oh, no. Yeah, Mo Valley. Yep, absolutely. And he was saying, hey, I've been doing solar cleaning for a while. I found you through Edgar. I'm going to be doing my first pigeon job, right? And again, right, I told him, I said, do not downplay yourself just because they don't know that this is your first pigeon job. So when you price it, don't be no $5 an hour. You're going to regret it, right? So some of the nuggets that Edgar had lost is the customer will know when you're by yourself. Because sometimes they'll ask, so it's only you? And then if they're old people like us, I'll be like, damn, dude, like, how busy are you? And if you're like, yo, man, I still got my full-time job, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to gauge how far committed are you? Are you going to be around in a little while? And if I'm just a cheap guy, I might just go with you because I'm cheap. But customers are picking up these tenures and time in the position and how your commitment is and all of that. But don't ever think that you can't, use what Edgar said. He just said, I got 2 guys in 2 vans running full time, and my third one is outfitted for what? For quality control, for going out, like we talked about last week, callback. So if a customer calls back, a customer, whether they say it or not, is really concerned about, are you going to answer the phone if there's a problem later, or are you going to ghost me? Edgar has more videos on effed up systems being done, and the customer got ghosted, and he had to pay it twice. So a lot of people that had got in, screwed things up, we're getting the backlash. So don't allow that to be the backlash for you, that even if you're only by yourself, you've got to put it. You don't want to BS them, right? But when you have employees, you could tell them, say, man, I got, like me, I got Devin, my son, and Diego. I got Danny. That frees me up to do quality check-ins, to get up on the roof. Every now and then you'll see me. Edgar does it too. What up, guys? QC inspection, inspect what you expect. And then I let the customer know, like, I've got time. Not like you're going to have an issue, but if you have an issue, I could be there in a relative short period of time. So
Right.
don't miss all of what Edgar was saying on how do you use those employees to the benefits, because there's plenty of solarpreneurs. I never heard that. Manure.
So
It's
quick,
cute, right?
yeah, but quickly, Todd. So I mean, that was just perfect what you said, and I really want you and everyone watching this to really. The only way we can succeed in not just this business, but any business is, it's called, in my opinion, is called sympathy, right? Like we have to just really feel what our customers are feeling. Why? Because that
Yeah.
people buy because of feelings, right? People buy,
Yeah.
make decisions off of emotions. So I want everyone who's watching right now, those of you who are watching the replay, also play along with this. And I want Todd right now to do this. Think of all the people, the homeowners that you've serviced, but specifically think of the ones that said, or the ones that had a bad experience because the solar installer is now out of business. Okay, I'm sure you can
Yep.
think of more than a
Totally.
handful. Okay, now
Yep.
if now those homeowners had a bad experience because the solar installer is now out of business, immediately they've lost trust in the solar world.
Yep.
Okay, so you're walking into a homeowner that automatically right off the bat will not trust you. Us as guys, okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna put this way. Us as guys, we've had our girlfriends, our fiancés, our wives. Think of it this way: the moment we lose trust for whatever reason, how hard is it to get that trust back? From our girlfriends or fiancés or wives. It's the exact same thing with the homeowner. Okay, the moment they
Yep.
have now lost their trust in the solar world, us now knock knock. Oh hey, I'm Edgar with All One Solar Shine. I'm here to clean your solar panels.
Yep.
What solar? Nah, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm not
Yep.
interested. But why? Because they already have a sour taste in their mouth. So just like what Todd said, we now have to bridge that gap. We now have to smile extra big and be like, no way, I'm not like the other guys. I'm not like the other guys who
Right.
sold you a bad bird proofing job. And we have to lay it down to them who we are and how we can gain that trust again. And that comes with being an established company, right? That comes with having
Yeah.
all the right equipment, having all the right legalities versus licenses, insurances, and whatnot. Having those employees to really show that we will take care of these homes.
Yep.
Do you not agree?
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Because a lot of them have been burned. A lot of them, you're fresh, you're rolling up, you're banging on the door, right? They feel they got jaded. And through conversation, if you're afforded the opportunity, they call it your elevator pitch. Why should I even listen to what you have to say when these guys screwed me, that, they're out of here, my inverter had to be replaced, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Even if your brand spanking new, and you gotta, I remember, man, when people used to tell me, what about broken tiles? People would be like, I never broke a tile. Okay, I was pushing 230 at one point, man. I was hitting the juice, man. I was snapping tile. There was one roof I couldn't even walk without breaking a damn tile, right? They pick up on the bullshit right away. So if you're truthful and you're like, look, I know it doesn't look, I show people today, like, if there's any competition or whatever the case is, I say, The proof's in the pudding. It's not how many people follow me. It's not how many people I follow. Look at my posts. Job after job after job. There are people out there that have 500 reviews. That's awesome. Good for you, but they've only been in business for half a minute, right? So people appreciate, like if somebody tells me, hey, bro, I'm just getting started. I got like 4 jobs under my belt. I used to work for ABC Concrete. I was with them for 10 years and I jumped, bro. Look at this is my work, right? Boom. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
Position
I
yourself,
always tell
man.
people, hey,
Position yourself.
yeah, I've got the gray beard, so I could say, look, we've been in this game over 10 years. It doesn't mean anything to you. I might just be lucky. But at the end of the day, I know it goes without saying, but if you call, I'm going to pick up. And we talked about that last week on the
Right.
callbacks, the people that you cringe. This guy this week, pain in the ass. Oh my, sends me this little picture of turf, and then the night before at like 9 o'clock, he sends me this huge ass yard, and I'm like, whoa, that's going to be a price hike, right? And he was just a pain in the ass, and I even warned my nephew, and guy ended up being an awesome cat. Asked me, what else do you do? What else do you clean, right? So people appreciate that honesty. And it'll help in the long run, right? Whether you're new or you're 10 years into the game. So I
Yep.
think your question like 20 minutes ago was, when did I decide? Was that it? To bring somebody on? I just, I started making money into where we caught up, man. I almost lost my home, man. That's a whole other Oprah show. I almost lost as a man. Just what Edgar said. He's at a point in his life right now where he's got a great history. He's got a good story. I've always said if I ever got to do a reality show, it'd be like, what's your story? Because everybody has a story, bro. I almost lost it all. So when we were able to, when my wife, I'm over on the computer working for Solar City, which is Tesla now, and I've got young bosses like, yo, where are you at? Why aren't you door knocking? And I'm like, because we live in a commuter community. Nobody's home. Why would I be knocking at 8:30 in the morning? Nobody's freaking home. They're all down in LA. But when I had to watch my wife walk out the door to go get a job at $15 an hour, which was $2 more an hour than I was getting paid on the books to sell solar on an hourly rate, that just broke me, dude. I said, man, I got to get off my ass and I got to make things happen. And I got to stop. I got to spend a little to get a little. And there was a guy, his name's Hector. He's still a long, old friend. But I saw him post, what was it? Soul solar panel cleaning or something like that. And I was like, what? In my neighborhood? Hell no. I called him up. I said, hey, bro, you clean panels, blah, blah, blah. Let's meet at Starbucks. And I told him, I said, this is my neighborhood. I was only in it a couple years, right? It was the 3rd year. And I said, look, I'll mentor you. You got your jobs. You do your jobs, but you work for me. And we'll make things happen. And he worked for me for 3 years, and that allowed me to go from a truck to get me a van, back into my truck, running inspections, me and him doing the jobs. And then I was like, man, I couldn't wait to get another person. And then there was the point of me and him, and the quality. He was there. He was doing really well. But when I would leave to do inspections, it's like when the cat's away, the mice will play. Nothing personal, right? But it was never that fear. They're not going to do it like I do it. And just what Edgar said, customers would say, oh, wait, you didn't, I literally had a guy around the corner. My son, Devin, was cleaning his panels, and he says it wasn't good enough. He didn't clean them as good as I did them. How much better can I clean? You know what I mean? But people, they got stuck on that, right? But I
Yeah.
had to do it so I could go do inspections. And then when second gear kicked in, and I said, I need to be, it took a while because of I'm a control freak. And so thank God for my son, because when COVID happened, he was a senior and he'd always been helping me during the summertime. But I told him, if you're not in school, you're on the roof. And then subsequently after that, he said, Dad, you need to stay off the roof. Just go grind. That was probably, obviously, money was flowing in COVID, but I had Devin plus one on the roof, and then I was running, doing inspections, and then I was able to, like Edgar had in my area, have two vans running for summer, and I was running my own truck, a different truck, and that really propelled me out, and it allowed me to work on my office work and run the ads. My nephew would be like, you're posting all your stuff at night. And I said, because I just got home and ate and showered and it's now 9:30. He goes, it's not going to catch the algorithms. What am I supposed to do, bro? Like, I'm on the freaking roof driving all over God's creation. So that first step, the sooner you could plan it and find somebody that is down to help you. And look, me and Edgar, we could talk about this another time. I pay my guys like construction. If you're in the union, they don't pay you to drive. Edgar's guys are spoiled. They wouldn't last a week with me because I'd bankrupt them. But that's a different conversation. Once you get somebody that is flexible with you and you figure out the pay, I'll tell you what, Devin, I would have to subsidize Devin and his employee Jake, my man Jake. I had two Jakes and they both kicked ass. I would subsidize them at the end of the week because they were so efficient. They'd flush it, wrap. I literally lost a job because I told the customer after I sold it, like, after you sell it, shut up. The guy said, he called me back and he goes, hey, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop thinking how you said your son was going to be done with this. It was like an 850 job in like 30 minutes. He goes, I can't pay somebody $800 or $1,200, whatever it was, for 30 minutes. And I was like, I gotta shut up, right?
Yeah.
But they became so efficient. Then now there's other things we could talk about later. What do you do with your employees to keep them efficient so they are efficient? So Edgar ain't having to go work on Saturday, right? But I'll tell you what, sooner the better, because then you hit second gear and you get like Edgar. You got two of them. Like I told Edgar, man, you're in a winery in 1 minute. You're at some taco place cleaning windows at another. You're doing gutters on another. That's where you want to be. It's hectic, but those two vans at the end of the week, the difference on my bank account on Friday, it's beautiful. Come Monday, I don't know where it all went. But you got to have that freedom, man. If you don't, you will run yourself ragged. And if you have a job, you'll never jump off, and you'll just go back to your job and you'll put your shit on Facebook Marketplace like the rest of them.
And then Todd and I are gonna go buy your equipment.
I will buy every skid for a fair price.
We're
I
sitting
don't
on
even use the skids, but I'm buying
we're
them.
sitting on equipment that we don't even know what to do with it. So
I
all
told
of you
Edgar,
that
I will buy every skid that becomes available. There's too many
so
out there. Too many.
all right, so for all of you watching, a quick analogy, okay? We're gonna jump into another part of the employee section, but we're into another little subtopic of all that. But for all of you watching, again, we're not bashing, we're not shaming at all. If you're a solopreneur, if you are working by yourself, if you're treating this as a hobby, that's fine. That's your plan right now. You know, we just taking from experience, taking from our own knowledge, taking from our own opinion. You know, it's hard to do that. It really is hard to treat this as a hobby and grow because it takes so much more, you know, time, effort, energy. And then obviously again, if you're a solopreneur, it takes so much just of us. And this is where I want that analogy to go. How many of you guys have seen the hamster on the wheel? Run and run and run and run. What happens if the hamster on the wheel runs 24/7 on that wheel? It's not going to make it, right? Here comes, boom, the cardiac arrest. That's what happens to us, okay? So for those of you that are watching, if you're going to be that hamster on the wheel and do the scheduling and the phone calls and the work and the installations and the quality control and the callbacks and all that stuff, and on top of that, have your full-time employee, on top of that, have your family to take care of, you're going to burn yourself out. Sooner or later, you're going to
Yeah.
be that hamster in the wheel that just can't do it anymore. So let's talk employees, process, systems, okay? So like I said, so I started this day one. I think I went like a month. And then I said, I need an employee, okay? And I didn't get the employee because money was rolling in and I couldn't keep up with it. I got the employee because I knew we can do it faster together, right? I got the employee because I knew we can tackle and do this more. And on top of that, because I wanted to train him so that I can get out and do other things while he keeps doing the work. So I got the employee real quick, and I've had great employees as well. That one employee at the beginning isn't with me anymore, but I've had great employees. Every single employee had their flaws, just like us. We have our flaws, but overall, I've had some killer employees, great workers. But for those of you who haven't made the transition yet from a solopreneur or treating this as a hobby to having employees, make sure you guys set up those processes. Make sure you guys have those systems in place, okay? What does a day look like for them? What time are they showing up? Are they showing up at your warehouse or yard, or are they showing up at the job site? Where are they getting all their materials from, okay? Do you have a warehouse and you're storing all the materials and they're going to go throughout the day and see, I need this, I need this, I need this, and grab all that and then go out and work. Systems in place. Also, like we talked about last week too, my employees they almost do everything. Okay, I want to make sure that my employees are set up to where they have the materials, they have client communication, they can check out the clients and receive payment, and of course, if they end up they go there for solar cleaning and they see some dirty gutters, they upsell that, right? They offer the client
Yep.
these extra services that the client needs, and they get that extra income for us. So my employees are set up that way to where they're running their own mini, quote unquote, mini company within the company, right? Because they can do all that for us. Of course, they're not getting the clients, they're not doing all this extra back end stuff that Todd and I know about, all the other entrepreneurs know
Yeah.
about, but they're set up in a way to where they know how to do these processes, because just like Todd said, if one day Todd wants to go to the Sequoias for 4 days, can the employee still run the business for him, right? Can they still bring in
Yeah.
that cash flow? Same with me. I know for a fact that if I'm gone for a week, my employees have their schedule. They know exactly what to do. They know exactly where to go, where's the material, how to do everything. So that way, that whole week while I'm gone, I mean, I haven't been to Cancun in a while, but if I go to Cancun, I won't have to worry unless there's an accident or something, right? An emergency. But I will
Yeah.
not have to worry for my employees or for the homeowners. Every single time my employees are done with a big job, bird proofing, a full, gutters, windows, panels, or just everything. Just when they're done, I call that homeowner. I'm like, hey, just checking in. How did we do? What's your feedback? How was the overall experience? It was great. I felt I needed a little bit more attention on this and that. If something did go wrong a
Right.
little bit, you know what? I see a couple more streaks on my windows. Ma'am, not a problem. Let me make it right. Let's go back and let's retouch those windows. Let's retouch that patio. Or ma'am, you know what? I'm sorry. It totally slipped our mind. We didn't get any gutter pictures. We'll go back and get you those gutter pictures. So, I'm always calling to follow up and just to make sure that I'm maintaining that quality. And that's how I'm also able to keep track of my employees, because if they're doing something wrong, we're going to talk about it.
Amen. And think about that. Like, you're so busy, right? Like, I don't know. I feel bad sometimes because back in the day, I would have such a connection with a homeowner through the inspection or whatever. And then I come and I do the job and I get the payment and I'm out, right? And then
Yeah.
it's gone. So when you call back, like I had to replace a window. The window was broke. I was tinting it for the turf burn. The lady knew it was broke, but I had to walk through, like coordinate, get a guy to replace it and all that. And then today, while I'm up here, she knew I was going to be up here. The guy was going to install it today. But I kept in communications with her. Like if I'm, there was so many things that I started missing when I was trying to be like the one man band. It started in my mind. It started hurting me, and people would be like, "Yo," they'd finally get a hold of my wife, and then they'd be like, "Yo, Todd ain't returning the call." You don't want to be like that. You want to be able to be free enough. I'm driving down the freeway, texting the lady, "Hey, Ivan's gonna be there. He's gonna install it. I'm gonna be there on Tuesday." Blah blah blah. And then when I get here, I say, "Hey, how did Ivan do?" Which ain't even my employee. It's a glass guy, South Bay Glass. If you're ever down in San Pedro and you break windows, he's your man. And she was like, "It's great." And then I said, "Hey, how about splitting that $540 bill? I already paid $270 to get the guy there and order it." And she was like, yeah. She wasn't happy, but she knew she had a broken window, and we were trying to do something for her. So I was able to keep her right here, right on the front of my mind. If I was trying to get the car packed and get it done and get off the job, my wife used to literally have the truck, everything waiting in the driveway for me to get off the damn roofs, to end my routes, to come home, to pack up the truck to go camping, right? It was a nightmare. So the sooner, the better, trust me. And then we could always talk about how do you deal with employees, because I was just thinking, like when Edgar was saying they take the money and all that, I'm blessed because Danny D runs my van. He's my nephew for turf. Besides having like OCD and being one of the best videographer dudes out there, he does that for a hobby. I couldn't be more blessed than that. And then Devin's my son. But I'll tell you what, there was a time when I literally had employees tell me, "Yo, I know how much you making, bro." And I was like, who the F is that? They have it all there, right? So when you pick those employees, they're entitled to a lot of information. I don't know, Edgar, if your guys to see the calendar and the money that's on there, but you really got to pick the right ones because, sounds like Edgar has the right ones. I've had employees in the past that were like, "Yo, man, I need a raise because I'm doing this and that." And just what Edgar said, there's so much, and you know this as a one-man band or 10 vans, there's so much work in the back, your ads, your social medias, your marketing. Me and Edgar are always talking about stuff. Edgar is I don't sleep because my brain don't turn off. I'm thinking of weird shit. I don't know why. But Edgar's thinking, he's done every advertising thing out there, right? So it's like there's so much in the background. But if he was on the roof, he would never be able to pull the trigger on half the things he's been able to do to say whether they worked or they haven't. So get yourself staffed up.
So let me ask you this, Todd, quickly, just so you and everyone else can understand my philosophy behind this. Okay, for those of you watching, and if you guys are, and first of all, let me just say thank you to everyone. I see your guys' comments. I really appreciate all of your comments. I mean, Guillermo out there from Bay Window Cleaning, shout out to you, man. We got Al Landscaping. I don't know who that is as far as your name, so shout out to you, brother. Thanks for
That's
joining.
my boy right there, Josh, out there in Bakersfield.
Luis Medina, shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you watching in that comment. Jay, again, shout out to you for watching and for your comment. So, we're paying attention. We want to make sure that we're paying attention because you're paying attention. So, I really appreciate that. But quickly, Todd, just because you know how to drive a car, does that mean you can participate in a NASCAR race? Yes or no?
You don't want me? No, man, no.
Just because you've been able to fly on a plane, does that mean you can fly the plane?
Oh, man. I could watch videos all day long and I still
Just because have you ever been on a cruise?
I've been on a cruise. I don't remember.
Just because you've been on a cruise, does that mean you can be the captain of the cruise ship?
No, sir.
So
No,
that's my
sir.
philosophy. Okay, that's my philosophy. Just because we have employees and our employees see what we're making, their employees know how to do the work, does that mean they can run the business? Does that mean they know how to go and market, how to close sales, how to get leads, how to prepare for the worst, how to prepare for the different
Right.
seasons, how to put out the fires, how to pivot when needed, right? There's so much more than just showing
Yep.
up, cleaning windows, and collecting payment
Yep.
and saying, thank you, ma'am, have a good
Amen.
day. All right? So
Yep.
that's my philosophy. Obviously, I want a great employee. I want someone who's going to take care of the business. I want someone who's going to, when they're putting on this shirt right here, I want them to do their absolute best and to carry this company, sure, as if it's their, something that they're proud of, right? Maybe not their company,
Absolutely.
but that they're proud of. They're being the image of that company in that moment because obviously I'm not there. They're providing the service. But that's why I trust my employees, and that's why I think my philosophy is they feel that trust. They know that trust, right? My guys receive some, I don't do it on a daily just because it gets too much of a headache, but my guys receive those checks. We do a lot more credit card payments just because it's easier for everybody. But when they get those checks, I mean, we all know nowadays, you know what I mean? Oh, I lost a check, right? But no, like,
Yeah.
my guys know that I trust them, and I think because they feel that trust and we're really open and we have these meetings, we help each other out. Like, you know, obviously I'm not gonna, knock on wood and just be like, oh, it's a relationship. No, but I think also when you build that trust and when you show that trust, I mean, that they give it back to you, and that's how I see it. That's how I
Yeah.
feel it, right? And so,
Yeah.
for those of you who are worried about that aspect, how like Todd quickly touched base on it, don't be worried about it. That's kind of what I want to say. Don't be afraid to go and find a great employee and think he's going to go and start his own business or think he's going to go and take your clients. If he takes that one or two or three, well, guess what? He's not going to last long because he's feeding off of you. But when it comes to him now needing to feed himself, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point because like me being blessed, like you nailed it. Danny, he runs it like it's his business, right? And the way he talks to the customers, takes care of the van. Sometimes I'm like, these guys just bring me broken stuff, man. That's I think what they're doing to piss me off. But they own it, so they've graduated. Devin and Danny have graduated to the highest degree of the operation side. They know it in and out. They talk it. They know
Yeah.
how to de-escalate, defuse it. There's not too much that they can't handle. Now, on the other side, the good thing, when you're not afraid, mine are family, right? But
Which I think
when
is a
you've
little
got
harder to
that,
handle.
it is. This is the third time Danny's worked for me, and I get pissed off real easy. I'm not. I told a guy yesterday. I said, dude, the social media, Todd, this year has been incredibly hard. Like I've lost 3 dogs. I've like
Dang, dude.
just a lot of life. Yeah, I mean, I've been through hell, but I'm like, hey, what up, guys, Mister Clean Bean Machine? There's different personas, but when you've got that, I think people appreciate working for somebody that's like, yo, man, everything's age appropriate. I told a guy yesterday, man, a new guy I met out there, pressure washing. God, it's rise above pressure washing. I rapped with him for like 45 minutes, man. First time ever talking to him. But I'll tell you what, um, I think employees appreciate working for somebody with that I don't want to say that arrogance, that confidence that it's age appropriate. So as your tenure is appropriate, I would love to get to the point, and this is what I'm working on, Devin on Solar Clean and Danny on the other, all the other things that we have to do. And so I trust me, the window cleaning thing, we do it. I try to find people that are younger so I can mentor them, coach them, put a shirt on them, get them out there, get the business, share the money, but kind of mentor them into doing their own thing and getting them out. But I'll tell you what, if you get the right employees and they've got that operational side down and you've got the confidence to be able to be like, yo, man, if you want to go and understand the back end of it, right? Me, again, it's family. So the amount that I share with Devin and the struggles and how to do what to do, and like I'll talk to Devin and my wife about things, and then I'll do what I want to do. And they're like, I don't know why. And I said, because I want to see where you're at, whether
Right.
we're lining up or not. At this point, but I guess what I'm trying to say is when you've got that level of confidence that Edgar he's all one, and this is the Birdman with Solar Clean, it's not an arrogance. It's a level of confidence to empower your employees to operate it as if it was their own. But still, if you take that to the next level and then Edgar turns one of these guys out to be the Edgar, and then he understands the budgeting, the relationship, the networking. I think Edgar said he was on a phone call yesterday, was it, or the day before for like an hour,
Yeah.
right? Networking or whatever you were doing,
Yep. Yep.
right? So I don't know. The sooner you can get, it's hard. Trust me, it's really hard. People are very entitled these days. I've had a lot younger crews like Edgar, man. He really he does take care of his employees. I got to tell you that. They're older guys. They have families. That comes with more dental appointments, school visits. The pressure to keep those men working. Where I've got youngsters that are just looking for downpipes. So if they didn't get the downpipe this week, next week they'll get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
sooner the better.
Yeah, no, definitely, man, definitely. I mean, and again, for all of you who are watching, I mean, I see a couple comments on here. Great talk. Hopefully, it's being recorded. It is being recorded. We will be sharing it again here on Instagram, but you can also see it on YouTube as well. The YouTube will be my YouTube channel, all one Solar Shine. But both Todd and I will be sharing this on our feeds. But yeah, so again, for those of you watching, I mean, of course, it's not a cup of tea, right? It's not all just roses and rainbows. I mean, it has its stress, it has its headaches, it has its days. Todd said he fired his
Like,
nephew
look
maybe
at me,
three, four.
man. I'm real stressed out, bro. I'm so damn stressed.
Right? We fire our employees. We call them like, all right, you're hired again. Come back tomorrow. That's all growing
Daily.
pains, and that's exactly what we're talking
Yeah.
about here, right? If you're gonna go on my YouTube channel, you're gonna see these episodes under the Growing Pains series, right? Because that's what it is. It's growing pains, and the growing pains don't stop. Okay, they do not stop because now we're going through this little battle, and then we're gonna have another battle and another battle. But it's all
Yeah.
just part of the process, right? It's also what God has for us. I mean, we don't stop growing,
Yep.
and we should never stop growing. So, just quickly to end this off, though, Todd, I don't want to end on a negative note, but let's just quickly touch base on this. I mean, what would you say your best advice is for those who either A, have employees, or B, don't have employees but are looking at getting into those, on their perspective of, what's the word, of handling those employee challenges, right? Whether the employees make the mistakes, employees don't show up to work, the employees do just a bad job. I mean, just quickly, and then, what can we say about that?
It's a tough one because we're all egotistical males, and if you're running your own gig, you've stepped out far beyond most comfort zones of what people would do. Look, dude, if we don't get out there and do, Edgar's always like, "What's your goals? What is your goals?" My goal is to not hear you ask me what my fucking goal is. That's my
Then
goal.
then
But
set those goals.
and then set the goals, right? And it's like, so for me, like it get over yourself. And you gotta be human. And oof, Devin. Oh my God. I used to be like, hey, make sure you wash that area out. Make sure you get you get the gutters on this side, make sure, and he would just stare at me like, get off my roof. And that's when I knew it was time to just let the kid go and back check them, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you should be, if you have employees, be graceful enough that you have employees. I don't like people that call out. I get really pissed off, and I tell them, if you need time off, you need days off, you get sick, that's cool beans. But understand, like Edgar said, he's very transparent, and he keeps his people know the schedule, right? You got to own that. Like, you got to treat them with respect, but there's an accountability. And if I'm going to have an employee, there's an expectation that they gotta handle the biz, man, and show up and be courteous to me as well. Hey, if you're sick, you're sick. It's all good. I'll jump in that van and handle that business. But the growing pains, like, you've got to be patient, and I think, and don't get it twisted. I've been doing it a long time by myself. I've done it a long time with some great people. Some of my people, Hector actually showed me how to cut the Spanish before we started making the pre-cut Spanish. It just comes back to being humane and being respectful. And I would tell, it's a quiet ride home when you lose your shit on the roof and you've got a worker with you, right? Especially a young guy. And I tell my employees, hey, man, whatever happens on the roof, happens on the roof. Put on your big boy panties, whatever you call them, right? And when we're done with a job, it's over. Nothing is personal, but that's not, it doesn't excuse you from ripping ass and being a tyrant or a Tasmanian devil. And I'm very, I don't know. I'm kind of a bastard when I'm on the roof, but it's my nephew and my son. But you can't be that way. You gotta. It comes back to being respect. It's so cliche, like, oh, treat them how you'd want to be treated. There's a lot of babysitting when you run a business and you've got employees and you hope you got the right ones, but you just got to be straight up, and you can't sugarcoat shit. I think people appreciate that. You got to pay them decently, acknowledge them, give them a bump here and there. If you can, give them some, side change. Edgar was worried about having a week that was light, right? And what is he going to do? That's the stuff people don't, it's not like, yo, man, I'm going to go hiking with Graves because the calendar's light, and you guys just wait till I fill the calendar. Like, those stresses, you gotta understand that we carry those stresses. So with employees, you just got to be human, man, and be respectful and appreciative, because it's like Danny and Devin and Diego. I could do it without you guys. Let me just tell you that.
If you're
But
watching.
I wouldn't be able. I know. I wouldn't be able to do what I do. Like, I'm so free. I'm working on different products, labeling, boxes, stamps, printed boxes, all of the things that my wife's like doing a video of me doing a video. I'm going to record her back, all right? She's so awesome. But just treat people like you would want to be treated, man, and hold them accountable and take care of them.
Yeah,
Just
so quickly,
be a
quickly, we're
respectful
going to be ending
human.
this really soon, but I just really want to put my own opinion on what you said, and then we'll go quick to the comments. We have two questions that are pretty good questions. Quickly, just to piggyback off of what Todd said, though, in my opinion on how I view this, I'm going to put in all these different terms that, depending on whatever term you understand, it's about the yin and the yang, it's about the karma, it's about the universe gives and you get, right? It's about, just like what Todd said, treat it like you want to be treated, right? If you guys scratch your employees' backs, I know they will scratch your back, okay? Obviously, it comes down to the whole just making sure you hire the right employee. But you'll know that right from the beginning, okay? You'll know that right from the beginning. And once you have that right employee, then that's exactly what happens, okay? Scratch their back, they'll scratch yours. The yin and the yang, you give and they get, right? And so, karma, you give great vibes, you help them out, they'll help you out, okay? So for all of us that are watching this, don't be afraid. Okay, I include myself because there's times when I'm afraid. There's times when I have doubt, and there's times when the employees make those mistakes, and I just want to strangle them and just like think, but how did you not see that? Common sense. Why didn't you ask? But then I also take a step back and say, you know what? Well, what could I have done better to better prepare that employee, right? And I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly having talks, and we're constantly talking with my employee. I even asked my employee one time, okay, well, what are your thoughts, right? How do you want to solve this? And then they were completely shocked. Like, wait, what? Like, you're allowing me to give my own answer? Like, and I was like, so that they can understand, like, it's not just about me. Oh, you made the mistake. Now let me fix it for you. No, you made the mistake.
Right.
Now, how can you fix it? And,
Yep.
and it's a growing lesson for everyone. Okay. So we always have to understand that just like Todd said, we are all human. We're all imperfect. We all make mistakes. We all have to grow, us from the business ownership standpoint, and the employees as employees, right? They're going to grow as well. So just make sure you help them see that growing lesson, though, that growing experience, and they'll take it. So quickly to finish this off, because we're already at an hour.
Damn.
So Jay says, hey, Todd and I are both blind. We're all over here. You guys are looking up our nostrils. All right, so do any of your guys have other jobs, or are they all in with you guys? My guys, full
Yeah,
time,
they
okay?
clean my house. They clean my pool. They pick up my dog shit if they want their check.
Well, that's because Todd has family working for him, okay? I don't have any kids working for me like Todd does. But, yeah, so my guys are completely full-time with me. I mean, if they do something on the weekends, I don't know, because we don't work weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So, but yeah, so my guys have those 40 hours a week with me. Next question through, who is this? Oh, Flamingo. What's up, brother?
Flamingo.
I tried buying Flamingo's equipment, but he had already got a down payment. So, yo, how would you deal with any employee cleaning a neighbor's home without telling you, and he pockets the money?
You're fired. Yeah, hey, look. So here's the thing. Like with me, I'm generous. Again, might be a family thing, right? But it's business. And so I'll tell my nephew, I say, hey, if you could pick up, as long as I know, because I don't want people will turn shit around on you as quick can be and be like, well, your dude did it for $100 the last time he was here. And I'll be like, what? I tell my nephew and well, Devin, because he's my son, if you're on a job, right? And there's two pieces to this. If you work for me, regardless of family ties or whatever, if you're on a job and a neighbor comes up and asks you to clean their panels, whatever the case is, that's on the company. You go, if you can handle it and put it in your schedule, here's the hard part. It's honesty, right? And there are people that are going to take advantage of you. And maybe you're a nice guy. You seem like a nice guy from what I've seen in our interactions, right? They might just think, I'm going to do it, and what you going to do, right? I tell them that's on the house. But I also tell my nephew and my son, just let me know what it is. And 9 times out of 10, I'll tell them, keep the money. You know what I mean? I did have a relationship in Vegas where I did all the marketing, all the material. I trained the guy up. He's badass. He's on his own, doing his own thing out there. I called him Vegas. I name everybody. So as soon as I met him, I called him Vegas Johnny. Vegas Johnny, Golden Solar Panel Cleaning, Las Vegas, the best in the game in the area. I told him, hey, look, we're 50-50 in this, netting out the material, right? You're doing me a huge favor because I don't want to go to Vegas no more. Anybody that comes up to you when you're on my job, it's all yours. So I guess communication, now that you know that's happened to you, you got to tell them what your expectation is. Hey, anybody come up to you and you clean that, that goes to the house. And then maybe, because realistically, what did he do to get that? He didn't do shit, but probably be on a job and somebody walked over. Devin gets like 2 or 3 of those a week, right? So for me,
Right.
I communicate up front, like how I'll do what I'll do.
But quickly though,
And then if there's a relationship.
I think I want to point
Go ahead.
out, though, quickly for those of you watching and that don't get confused. I think for Vegas Johnny though, that's a different situation or a different relationship because he's
Yeah.
more of a subcontractor for you versus
Right.
an employee. Of course, my employees,
Yeah.
it's in their job description. I couldn't think of the word. It's in their job description that they have to sell. Okay, they have
Yeah.
goals to hit weekly of extra upsells, right? What we want to call them. If they're if they're at that job for solar panel cleaning, they're looking, are these windows dirty? Are these screens broken? Are these gutters dirty, right? And they're seeing what else they can offer to the homeowner, and that's what also helps us just become that more of elite company because we want to take care of the homeowner. We're not, I know upsell is a wrong terminology because I don't want people to think, oh, we're
No,
just trying to be greedy and get that money, money, money. No, we're just up there because we're
it's
already up there.
opportunity.
Exactly.
You
The
provide a
homeowner's not going to
service.
get up on the if it's like when you go in and you buy oh, as a kid, you get that amazing toy from Christmas, right? You go to open up, you want to try it out. There's no dang batteries. Did your parents buy the batteries? No. Well, now
Hell
imagine if the
no.
cashier person would have said, "Oh, you're buying this
Yeah.
Walkman. Well, do you want some batteries to go with it so you can put it in the gift box?"
Save the
Right?
day.
It's
Save the day.
exact same
Yeah.
thing for us as home service providers, right? Oh, by the way, I see your windows are quite dirty. Do you want us to take care of that for you, right? We're just adding that extra just flavor to the whole concoction. That way they can have an amazing experience. So my employees, they need to look for those other selling opportunities, but like Flamingo Solar Cleaning said, if he's out doing something on his own, or if he goes and pockets something on his own without me knowing, and I find out, I won't fire him right off the bat because I'm not like Todd. I will definitely talk with him. He'll probably get a suspension, and then treat it as a warning, right? That way he can also see, he'll hear me out, like, dude, like, and we'll talk it out. That way he understands why I feel it was bad, and how he should understand that. And then, of course, if he keeps doing it, then of course, yeah, he's fired. But like I said at the beginning of this,
He's a cheating
we're all
whore. Fire
we're
him.
all
Break up
human.
with him. He's gonna break your heart.
We're all human. We all make mistakes, and of course, we all just gotta treat it as a learning experience, right? But let's stop it here though, because I mean, if you don't stop us, we're gonna keep going forever and ever and ever.
Dude,
Todd
all
has to go
night.
out there, enjoy his wife. It's his anniversary, so happy anniversary to Todd,
I
to
think I have a
23
light
more
on this
years.
thing.
All right, but appreciate everyone who tuned in. Appreciate all the comments, the questions. That's what we're here for. So next time we are on, which is when? Next Friday. Make sure you guys again tune in, drop those comments, drop those questions, say what's up, let us know you guys are enjoying this. In the replay, if you're watching this, drop a comment, drop a question. Let us know you guys have any other questions, maybe even on other topics. That way we can put that in our notes and we can treat that topic as another video in the next weeks to come. So God bless everyone. Happy Friday. Todd, stay blessed, man. Have a wonderful trip out there. Drive safe when you're driving back home. Enjoy the wifey.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks all. Appreciate y'all.
Have a good one, y'all.
Stay
Peace.
strong. All right, later.